On this episode of How to Do Florida, we're blasting off to Florida's Space Coast. Chad's gonna find out if he's got the right stuff.
1,500 miles an hour!
And while we're on the Space Coast, Chef Justin shows us how to navigate Titusville's Wild Ocean Seafood Market.
It's local. You're going to be supporting our fishermen here in the state of Florida.
Then we're headed to beautiful West Palm Beach to dive into an amazing underwater paradise.
Hey, Chad, try to keep up this time.
Yes, sir. Will do.
So prepare for liftoff, because it's time to do Florida.
Hey, today on the show, we're going to show you how to experience Florida space history. Ow. In 1961, President Kennedy launched a program that would change the world. His ambitious goal, to put a man on the moon. 5 decades later, over 109 more manned space flights followed in the afterglow of that first lunar landing. That's why, hands down, one of the most awesome and unique aspects of living in Florida is being at the epicenter of the American space program. For over 50 years, space exploration has played a major role in Florida's history. So many epic adventures have started right here at the Cape. 135 successful space shuttle missions, 6 moon landings, and don't forget, the development of Tang. I mean, where else on Earth do you have the opportunity to watch a spacecraft lift off in your own backyard?
One of the last shuttles to ever leave the Florida coastline is going up right now over the horizon. Absolutely gorgeous.
The Space Coast, located about an hour east of Orlando and midway between Jacksonville and Miami. The Space Coast is home to all kinds of out-of-this-world experiences. Check out the Barrier Islands Center in Melbourne Beach, where more sea turtles come to nest than anywhere else in the country.
People come here to watch sea turtles nest or just gain more information about them, and sometimes you can even see them offshore coming up to nest or in the waters.
With hiking trails, interactive exhibits, and games, this hands-on facility is great for families, and it's free. Then, go take a walk on the wild side at the Brevard Zoo. Hey, a brand new feature here at the Brevard Zoo is the Treetop Trek. This place is amazing. Check it out. The Treetop Trek gives you a bird's eye view of the zoo's animals, from bridges, tight ropes, nets, and zip lines. And be sure to visit the Harry T. and Harriet V. Moore Memorial Park. This cultural center is dedicated to the fascinating lives of these two fearless civil rights leaders.
Much of what Martin Luther King did in the 1960s with the civil rights movement, Mr. Moore had already done before his death in 1961.
But of course, the command headquarters of the Space Coast is none other than the Kennedy Space Center. Every United States human space flight since 1968 has taken place right here. And although most of this massive space-based serves as a wildlife sanctuary known as the Merritt Island National Wildlife Refuge, which is 8 times the size of Manhattan, it's also home to the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. It's here you can tour NASA's launch and landing facilities, including the Vehicle Assembly Building, which is the 4th largest structure in the world. This place is packed with a universe of knowledge just waiting to be explored, from the Astronaut Hall of Fame to space exploration reenactments and hands-on exhibits. Tours and activities are sure to satisfy your intergalactic explorer. Hey, we're here at the Shuttle Launch Experience. We're going to experience firsthand what the astronauts feel when they fire into space. Hold on.
Everything's looking good for your launch.
I can imagine what these astronauts have to go through mentally to get prepared. Here we go! 1,500 miles an hour!
Your main engine's at the throttle.
Holy mackerel!
3,000 miles. Whoa! Woo! Maybe one day you will fly with us.
Space Shuttle Experience, you gotta try it. One of the coolest opportunities you get at the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex is the chance to meet a real astronaut. What a thrill to talk one-on-one with Space Shuttle pilot John McBride. I want to talk to you about space. Sure. I'm sure you get a lot of questions about what it's like to be in space. So give us a sense of what that was like.
Well, if you can imagine having the opportunity to escape gravity, go into space, particularly aboard this wonderful machine we call Space Shuttle, and fly around the Earth, I think 133 times in my case, and traveling at almost 18,000 miles an hour in 8.5 minutes around the Earth every hour and a half.
18,000!
Living and working in zero gravity, and with launching satellites, doing spacewalks, and having the opportunity at the same time to look out the window and see the first time and seeing Earth and realizing that's it. You know, all my life I've been working for this experience to get up here this
Yeah.
several hundred miles, be able to see these 1,000 miles, and it kind of just slaps you right in the chest.
I
Like
bet.
this. What an amazing thing this is.
I've got to admit, I was a little starstruck talking with John. I mean, after all, this guy's in the history books.
I've been really a lucky person. I've been around since 3 years before the first space shuttle flew, and I'm still lucky enough to come to work out here every day. What you see and feel and hear at the Kennedy Space Center is true history. Every American that's been launched into space from this side of the ocean has been launched from right here in Brevard County.
So all that space history, and here we are, it's about to come to an end. And where do we go from here?
I tell the youngsters when I meet them here and talk to them here at the Space Center, we think that the first man or woman that will walk on Mars probably will lift off from here. And that person right now is probably 10 years old, plus or minus 4 or 5 years. Could be one of my grandchildren.
Yeah. I heard you astronauts kind of pick up some extra income selling moon rocks on the side.
It's all a myth.
All a myth?
Yeah,
Okay.
no reality there.
What about a tile? Can you get me a tile? To do Florida's Space Coast history, you'll need to plan on a full day to take everything in. Bring a camera, sunscreen, and you can buy food, water, and snacks at the Space Center. Admission prices are $43 for adults and $33 for kids ages 3 to 11. Since the beginning of time, man has looked to the stars with wonder and amazement. 50 years ago, NASA engineers started man on a mission to explore the heavens. The dawn of the space age began right here in Brevard County. With each launch and each new discovery, the entire world turns their attention to Florida and our Space Coast. So no matter where you are in Florida, it's just a short trek for a close encounter with the final frontier. Go to howtodoflorida.com to learn more about how to do Florida's space history and to see bonus footage of our trip to Florida's Space Coast.
Dive, dive, dive.
Still to come, Chad's diving into the underwater world off the shores of West Palm Beach. But first, Chef Justin's in Titusville, where the seafood is fresh from Florida.
First thing you need to do is know what questions to ask. And this will go a long ways as to figuring out what's the best fish for you.
Let's fillet a fish.
You're watching How to Do Florida. We'll be right back.
Hey, on today's Florida cooking segment, we're going to show you how to select and enjoy
Fresh from Florida seafood.
Ha!
Here we are, man.
Nice.
Wild ocean.
Looks wild.
More of those.
Well, here we are, Chef Justin. You know, we're standing in front of the seafood counter here, and I can't tell you how many times I've just stood here with the stare.
Sir, can I help you?
There's so much selection here. There's so much to choose from, and I really don't know what I'm looking for, and I don't know if it's fresh or not.
Right.
So, you know, really need some help here.
First thing you need to do is know what questions to ask. And this will go a long ways as to figuring out what's the best fish for you.
How you doing, Mike?
Good.
Nice to meet you. So, Mike, what's fresh?
First question you want to ask is simple. Where's it from?
What answer do I want?
Well, really the answer is you want Florida seafood. I mean, you know that Florida water is tested, it's local, you're going to be supporting our fishermen here in the state of Florida.
Today, fresh, we have some nice pompano. Came from Playlinda Beach, which is about 20 miles due east of here. Beautiful fish, came in yesterday. Next to that, I've got some yellowtail snapper. Those came in from the Keys. Got some nice Florida lobsters there.
Nice.
They're also caught from our coast right here, about 30 miles offshore.
The second part I like to call the three senses when
Okay.
selecting seafood. We all use our eyes first. Okay, we're looking at the seafood. Does the skin have a shiny metallic coat? Are the gills nice and red? Are the eyes nice and clear? These are all indicators to fresh seafood.
Okay.
Okay? The second part is smell. You need to ask your seafood monger, can I smell the fish?
Okay.
And they should have no problem bringing it out and let you smell it. Shouldn't be fishy, nice, clean, sea mist, beautiful. And then the third one is touch.
Okay.
You know, you really want to touch that fish. You want to press into the flesh of the fish,
Okay.
just light pressure, and it should spring right back. I mean, that'll let you know that you got a fresh piece of fish here. If you press into it and the indentation stays, or it starts to flake apart a little bit, then
Yeah.
that's an older piece of fish, and you want to look for something else.
I tell you what, Mike, I'm looking at this pompano. You mind pulling it out of the case there for me?
No problem. Let me grab one for you. There's that pompano right there.
Yeah. Oh, wow, look at that boy. Whoo-wee, absolutely gorgeous. So,
Smells good.
Smell good, yeah.
Eyes are clear. It has some bright red gills.
Beautiful.
Oh, yeah, nice and red, nice and pink. You know, you're right, Chef. It does smell like the ocean. It does have that sea smell to it.
The next thing you need to do is be prepared to transport your fish.
Okay.
Okay, a lot of people come in and they'll bring a nice little cooler with them that they can fill with ice and be able to take their fish home on ice. The proper way to store seafood is directly on ice.
So that's for like a serious guy. Let's say I don't come in with the cooler. Like, what other options do I have to keep that fish on ice?
Right, well then you can ask your seafood purveyor to double bag with ice on the outside. They should have no problem doing that.
Okay.
It's a great way to keep your fish nice and cold. The
that's a good
colder it
idea.
is, the fresher it's gonna stay. This is gonna ensure you're gonna have a great seafood experience.
I'll tell you what, Mike, give me 2 of these.
All right.
All right?
No problem.
Someone who's starting out cooking seafood for the first time, what's a good seafood to start out with?
As a beginner, I would recommend starting out with shrimp. You know, maybe keeping the peel on and some simple methods like some steaming or broiling, and then work our way up to the more complicated dishes.
Good deal. And remembering all along your #1 rule about cooking seafood.
You can't depend on time to get it done. You really have to get in there, look at the meatiest part of the seafood to see if it's getting done. No overcooking.
You don't want to overcook it.
That's right.
Don't overcook the seafood. So, Chef, here's some shellfish, clams, and oysters.
That's right.
So what are some general rules for this?
Well, really, when buying oysters, mussels, clams, you want them live. And there's a couple easy ways to check to see if it's live. First, it's popped open a little bit. You want to give it a little tap, and it should have some kind of reaction to closed shell. And in fact, when you're cooking them, and if they don't open up, then that's not a good sign either. So.
Okay, good. So either live or frozen.
That's right.
One of those two.
Yep.
Good point. If you're a seafood guy, I mean, you love to cook seafood, this is like an ideal place to go, right?
They usually have some really unique different kind of spices. Definitely the breadings, different kind of fish coatings, crab boils, seafood boils, your fish fries. It's fun to experiment with all these kinds of stuff, part of the seafood experience.
Yeah. Let's fillet a fish. We're about to go split some shrimp here, so you gotta get suited up. I'm supposed to be taking the meat out of the shell? Do you ever pocket these, like steal a few? How many of these you do a day, you think? Oh, the heads don't go in there. Sorry. Hey, that's a good fillet right there. When you can see through it. Cooking seafood, it's a little bit of an adventure, right?
Yeah, cooking seafood is a lot about confidence. The more you cook, the more confidence you get, and the better your dishes are gonna turn out. But it's an adventure that is totally worth it. I can't think of a better thing to eat than some fresh Florida seafood.
Amen, brother. Ha! Hey, for more information on how to cook fresh Florida seafood, go to our website at howtodoflorida.com. Oh, man, oh my God.
Coming up next, Chad's diving into a gorgeous underwater paradise when How to Do Florida returns.
We're here in beautiful West Palm, and we're going to be giving you a glimpse into everything it takes to become a certified scuba diver.
The only thing more beautiful than Florida in the sunshine is Florida underwater. Warm water and gentle currents make the Atlantic coast of southeast Florida an underwater paradise. Some say the reefs and ridges near West Palm Beach rival those in the Florida Keys. The Palm Beaches are known for its world-class waterfront properties, but it's also known for its natural resources, like fishing, boating, and scuba diving. Located just north of Fort Lauderdale on I-95, West Palm Beach is home to more than 30 unique ocean dive sites. It's also blessed with some of Florida's most beautiful beaches. You'll find countless dive shops and professional scuba instructors who can teach you the fundamentals of diving.
We've been here since the late 70s, and it's just a wonderful location.
We caught up with Wayne Shoemake, a certified dive instructor for the West Palm Scuba Club, which is conveniently located right on the water. So Wayne, why don't you take us through some of the fundamental gear that we need to go diving?
Well, the first piece of gear you need is probably a mask. There's some features that all the masks have to have. A way to pinch off your nostrils to clear your ears as you go underwater.
Okay.
Has to be comfortable, has to fit properly.
What next?
A snorkel is a J-shaped tube, 12 to 14 inches long. The bore of the snorkel should be about the size of your thumb. All this does is allow you to lie face down on the water and breathe.
Okay.
We need a way to propel us through the water. By putting these big flat things on our feet, it makes it a lot easier to swim.
So basically, we're not fish, so this is essentially our form of fish fins.
Exactly. We have a buoyancy compensator.
Okay.
This device allows us to float on the surface. It allows us to hover underwater, and our tank fits in here, making it easier to hold our tank on the back.
How important is buoyancy to diving?
You don't want to be dragging along the bottom, stirring up the sand. You don't want to be hurting the coral and the reef, so buoyancy is very important. We need some way to hold us down. You'd think with all this big heavy stuff, we'd jump in the water and we'd sink like crazy. Believe it or not, we need lead weights to put on us to be able to get us down. Even in Florida, in the wintertime, we need some type of thermal protection. This is a suit that fits very close to your body. Water goes into the suit and your body warms it up to body temperature and you stay nice and warm. This is the entire scuba unit put together. You have a mouthpiece that you're going to use to deliver your air.
Okay.
You have an alternate air source or a mouthpiece for your buddy. Certainly you need some way to tell how much air you have. You have a dive computer that times you, tells you how deep you are, how much longer you can stay. Okay. We actually have a compass to tell you which direction you're going. The BC, you can blow it up to float at the surface. You can put a little air in it to be neutral underwater, and that's the whole scuba unit right there.
It had been a few months since my last dive, so Wayne agreed to give me a little refresher.
How's that?
That's perfect. Very good.
It only takes about 4 days of instructions to become a certified open water diver.
Kneel down and breathe underwater.
You do 1 day in a classroom, 1 day in a swimming pool, and 2 days of diving in open water. And once you finish your classroom and swimming pool lessons, you can take your open water training dives anywhere in the world.
We're scuba diving.
Yeah. We're going to do it the way Jacques Cousteau used to do it when we were boys. We're going to point our back that way. We're going to look forward. When Captain Early finally lines us up, he's going to point to me and he's going to say, dive, dive, dive.
We would be doing a drift dive about 2 miles off the shore. Wayne was telling me that due to West Palm's close proximity to the Gulf Stream, it attracts a lot of marine life.
You're clear, guys. Dive, dive, dive.
As soon as we hit the bottom, the first thing we see is a coffee table-sized turtle. He didn't seem to mind me swimming alongside him for a while.
I can't describe a feeling that's like going underwater. It's just seeing fish and turtles and even the coral and the things that we see, the color. It's just a gorgeous environment to be in. Very few people on the planet get to experience going underwater.
I have dove all throughout the Caribbean and can't remember reefs so full of marine life. Florida truly has some of the best shallow water diving in the world. There's a whole new Florida waiting to be discovered just below the surface. Okay, let's review our scuba training checklist. You'll need to bring your mask and fins, and depending on the weather, you may also need to bring a wetsuit. You'll be renting your air tanks, regulator, and BC, which should all be included in the cost of your certification course.
All kinds of stuff down there. It was absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. You got to come diving in West Palm. Beautiful. For more information on diving, go to our website at howtodoflorida.com.
Well, that's it. That's our show. I hope you learned something, but more importantly, I hope you feel encouraged to get out and do Florida.
For more info on this episode, go to howtodoflorida.com, where you'll find bonus how-to videos and all of Chef Justin's yummy recipes. And be sure to check out our Do Florida page, which is our giant list of events and activities all over the Sunshine State. Yeah, you should check it out.
Look at that. Nothing more sexy than leather in space. Astronaut hot rod right here. Nice.
Wayne's telling me I got my snorkel on the wrong side.
Well, you don't want to be on TV with it on the wrong side. Okay?
He's taking care of me. part of come in here, blah, 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 blah.
Sir, please don't touch that.
I got an orange jumpsuit on here, okay? Respect this.
Wow. Do you ever pocket these, like steal a few?
Yeah, right there. Oh, yeah, perfect. Yes.